I think it's better to start on YouTube and then expand to Twitch than the other way around.
Okay, that's good because that moment of the conversation has been captured. All right,
Oh, okay. That's for posterity
here we
right there.
are. Dota 2 gamers looking at 7.35 day, the long awaited, not Crownfall patch that will solve all of our issues in the interludium to Crownfall. Aren't we all happy, boys? What are your reactions here, Jardonic?
Oh, dude. Groundfall, more like clownfall, because we're fucking clowns for thinking it's gonna happen.
Yep, it
Oh,
is
it's
International
rip,
Clown Day, just about.
rip bozos.
Oh, dude, I can see that you've banned
Yeah, I thought it
Puck,
was happening.
Anti-Mage,
Oh,
Huerta,
you can
and
see my
TA.
bands. You can see my based bands.
Alright, spoiler alert, you have bans now, but we'll go over that.
Yeah, fuck Puck. That's my official statement on the matter.
It rhymes, so there you go. So,
Nerf still ban
the premise for this video is we have a Crusader, an absolute legend. Actually a Crusader, not a legend.
Actually, not a legend, bro. I never aspired to fly so close to the sun.
And immortal gameplay. Now we have the two of us, so we can bridge the divide in Dota between scrub Dota and good Dota. First things first, apparently they like to put this right at the top. The BKB has been nerfed to 95 seconds. What's your reaction to that information?
Wait, what? BKB? Something about BKB?
Yeah, it has been nerfed from 90 to 95-second cooldown. Isn't that groundbreaking? Like the tri-core BKB meta in Legend is completely in shambles. Ancient gameplay will be invalidated.
Dude, I actually had no idea BKB's active was called the top.
It's called
like,
Avatar
because Avatar cooldown.
Yeah, in Warcraft 3, the Mountain King hero for the humans had an ability called Avatar. It didn't give him magic immunity, but it did make him bigger, and BKB makes you bigger, and that's the inspiration for it. Anywho, Divine Rapier now being toggleable, so get ready for this to blow everybody's minds in Jenkins Herald reviews. Divine Rapier now, as a default, gives you 100 bonus damage, and then it toggles between giving you the full 350 that it used to and giving you the 25% spell amp. So it will either give you 100 damage and 25% spell amp or only 350 damage. And there's a 3-second cooldown between this, so you can't min-max it by toggling it instantly. Your thoughts on this, Jardonic?
Very good.
Very good. Nice. What's
very good?
What do you think of? Why is that? Why is it very good?
I don't know. Why not?
Why not? More confusion in my game? I'll take it. Also, yeah, dude, they didn't tell you this, but the active item, the active toggle is called Transmute, by the way. So all your Dota 2 trivia gamers out there, it's Transmute.
There's something so cursed that fucking Divine Rapier is an active item now.
Yes, it's active is a strong word. It's toggleable, like the Revenant's Brooch.
This really feels like one of those things that could be changed back in the future.
What, like the fucking passive phase boots? Passive phase boots or active tranquils?
Because active Divine Rapier is like, that's like shit you see in your dreams. That makes no sense.
All right.
It's like, no, the game's on the line. I gotta toggle my rapier.
All right. Yeah, don't forget. I wonder if it'll have a different animation on the ground, or you'll just have to find the fuck out every time you pick up somebody's rapier. If it was faster, or if it was not.
Magical.
Eye of Scotty, health bonus increased. This was a useless item nobody would ever buy except for delusional Medusa players.
Does the rapier look different when you toggle it?
You can test that.
Now I need to check this.
I'm gonna go over items that Herald's never seen. The Helm of the Dominator and Helm of the Overlord. Now, I imagine this is pretty rare in your bracket, but they give you the ability to take over another creep. You know, like this Chen hero or Enchantress, which sometimes you get to see at the International if you watch it.
Oh, it's that's so weird.
Well, Helm of the Dominator. Dominate now grants the caster the gold bounty of the creep, and it does the same for Helm of the Overlord. It's basically a little Chen buff for Lycan and Visage and That's about it. Maybe Beastmasters if they decide to freaking get this item, but overall, not a meaningful difference. A slight GPM increase, but like that. By the time you get these items on the heroes who get it, they can already take ancients and everything else very quickly. Javelin and Maelstrom and Mjolnir, all these bad boys reduce their proc chance by 5%, reduces their DPS. This is basically a Windrunner nerf and a nerf to these items as a whole, and a secret buff to each and every single illusion hero, because now they will take slightly less damage from these items. Your thoughts?
Well, it's really weird, actually, but
It's really
illusion
weird.
moment.
Okay, there you go.
Like, what?
Yeah,
I don't even know how to process.
It has a
what I
less.
just heard.
Mjolnir has a crit. When it crits, it makes the lightning. The same thing for all these other Mjolnir adjacent items. Now they just do that less, so they are just a worse item. They just give you less DPS. They do them
That's
a
pretty
lightning.
sucks. I like Maelstrom. Damn, it's so over, guys. It's so over.
Right. Magic Stick. Energy charge cooldown. Increase from 13 to 17. In case you're wondering, that's what the active on Magic Stick is called. And also Magic Wand. Energy charge.
And I've never thought about the fact these have names. Energy charge!
Yep. So, yeah. Overall, you
energy
can't press them as often. Not that you would ever really spam these, because it's dependent on enemies pressing
it's
abilities.
Like, damn, I died because I couldn't press my stick for another 17 seconds.
Yeah, I couldn't get that extra 30 health and mana from my magic wand. It's over, guys. Manta style. There you go. Crazy item. No one's ever seen this one before. It gives you more cooldown. So this is an overall nerf to Manta style. Honestly, I didn't see it getting picked up more than usual. This is just a nerf to everyone who buys it. Maybe a secret buff to... I don't know. I don't really know how to process this. It's just a worse item. Yeah. I think Valve really wants everyone to buy Sanj and Yasha like the good old days. No more active items, but a toggle on the rapier. Hello. Null Talisman. Everyone's most hated of the 3 stat items now actually gives you an almost meaningful amount of mana. Your thoughts on this? Will you ever pick this up still to this day?
No.
Okay.
Probably not.
Probably
Can
not.
See if you decline their party invite.
Can people see if you decline their party invite?
Our boys just requested to join, but they don't know.
I don't claim them. I don't. Do you claim them? I don't. Oblivion Staff.
Oh, they're mine.
Nerf to that item. That's just a nerf that will also hit the Orchid and the Bloodthorn. So,
dude, they will be removing this item from Dota soon.
Dude, they removed
Crown
Staff.
I'm shocked. They're removing it alongside Crown. Yep. Fucking mark it here first.
They increased the duration. I'm skipping ahead a little bit. They increased the duration of Shadowblade and Silver Edge because nobody would buy these terrible items.
Yeah,
because
I can't tell you
they
the
don't.
Last time I've seen a
they don't. You can't upgrade Shadowblade to Silver Edge and get crit anymore. So it's a terrible item, and the break is hard to use, and it only lasts for 5 seconds, right? So you get a 5-second window that you have to walk up to somebody if you're a melee hero who's usually buying this item, and then whack them. That's pretty hard. Although in Herald, this will be a potential buff to all the people who buy the item. So your thoughts on that? It only has a 3-second downtime on Silver Edge if you're using it just to be permanently.
This is gonna wreak havoc on the Herald race, dude. It's so over for them.
All right. So if you're in Herald,
Shadowblade
is so bad.
I mean, those goobers buy it anyways. It's like this is just a windfall for them.
It's just a windfall for the Shadow enjoyers. Gotcha.
The Heralds and the Shadowblade lovers of the world. Like, true Shadow Chads buy that shit anyways. So it's just better for him now.
Yep. Back up to my previous favorite item in the patch, Orchid Malevolence. They made it cheaper, and now they made it worse because it's cheaper. Sad. Can't collect on those warranties.
Oh, they nerfed my Orchid?
Yep.
Shit.
It just has worse mana economy now. So basically, you'll have less mana and a little bit less mana and regen, and the Soul Burn, which is the active.
It's less absolutely goated than it used to be.
Yeah, so
it was so
pressing Orchid and pressing Bloodthorn is more expensive, and you have less mana to use it with, so it's even more expensive as a result of that.
And they're goofing on all the mana likers this patch so far.
Parasma. Witchblade intelligence's damage decreased from 175 percent of your intelligence. So all those 500 IQ silencers won't one-shot you. They will instead one-shot you, and after 1 second you'll die. So slight nerf. Speaking of nerfs, you were talking about this. Phantom Assassin will no longer one-shot your entire team by pressing Q.
I knew they were gonna like fuck her with the Revenant Spirit. That build was
in conjunction actually with the Divine Rapier, having you choose between Spell Amp and damage bonus.
Yeah, wow, they just murdered Phantom Assassin.
It has gotten way worse. So get ready for
Phantom Assassin. There's been a fucking murder. My goodness.
Speaking of murder, hang on, let's go down to the neutral item changes. Royal Jelly, everyone's favorite item they forget exists, has been nerfed? Question mark? Oh no, it's been made slightly better.
Is this just another goddamn nerf patch?
So
like 20.
I
know this was like 7 conversations.
Okay,
ago,
so
but I can't confirm the Magic Rapier looks different.
The Magic Rapier does look different. It's bluer. Okay, there we go. We got that.
Bluer. Yeah, there you go. Lore. Rapier,
all right,
lore.
Magic Rapier. When you toggle it on, for all those who are still paying attention, there you go. It becomes bluer. Can't wait to examine that.
It'd be looking magical. It's in the Discord. Not like that helps anyone else. But
Grove Bow. Attack range decreased. This used to be everyone's favorite item ever. You would even keep it over the Enchanted Quiver, because Enchanted Quiver would only give you 75 attack range. Now Enchanted Quiver is just an upgrade to Grove Bow, because it gives you that burst damage and a little bit extra. But there are still some heroes where you will still keep the Grove Bow. Like if you're a Muerta, for example, you want the extra magic damage amp that this gives you. So you still might see people skip Enchanted Quiver and just keep Grove Bow. Grove Bow is just so goated. It does so much.
Just a meme good item.
It's a budget Parasma that gives you more attack range. Like, come on. Light Collector, the movement speed has been nerfed. You don't get 30 movement speed, now you just get like 15-ish, depending on your hero. And Unclouded mana and health regen bonuses reduction increased. So if you're near trees, this thing sucks now. It used to be half as good if you're near a tree. Now it's a quarter as good as when you're near trees. So use the active Light Break every 30 fucking seconds if you're next to trees. If they unnerf Nature's Prophet, you might see people pick this up just to nab those trees. Also, an interesting change to the balloon. Nobody picked this item. Did you ever pick this item your entire time?
The balloon? I don't think. I think I might have picked it one time as a meme. Go the balloons.
The balloons.
Don't drop them.
Yeah. I never once.
No, this item is trash. Yeah. Or was trash.
In the tier 3 items where you have things like Craggy Coat, which gives you 20 fucking armor.
Yeah. Tier 1 item.
Or a goddamn Cloak of Flames, or better yet, the Ogre Seal Totem with the ability to Ogre Seal flop. Nobody's picking Doubloon. So they had to give it some serious gas, right? In mana mode, mana bonus is increased by 50% from plus 2.5 to plus the mana regen bonus and the health regen bonus are increased. But here's a little news flash for you. This is garbage regen for a tier 3 neutral item. You could get a Paladin Sword that basically solves your health issues, or there is an item, a neutral item. Where is it? The Tiara, right? Yeah, the Psychic Headband that gives you the intelligence. Like, none of these actually give you good mana regen, so maybe that's the niche it's trying to fill. But even if you were to do it, you're gonna flip it into mana mode. If you're a hero who has mana problems, you're not gonna solve it with the bloom. It's that simple. Like, there is no reason you'd have that. The best case scenario is you're like OD and you're like on death's door and you switch it to fucking health and maybe that helps you out. But this is a useless item. All right, neutral camps. They've made Mud Golems and Satyr Mind Stealers worth less money, but barely. This is a snooze fest right here. You won't notice a goddamn thing changing from the entire game, but they've done it just to prove that they like increasing and decreasing neutral creeps values by 3. Poor kobolds.
Kobold. I took the kobold pill.
Bonus XP from stacking neutrals decreased from 5%. what is your analysis on this in the Herald meta? Do you think this will change anything here? Will people stop stacking in Herald because of this?
Uh, yeah, but mostly because they never started.
All right, great. Ancient Apparition. Have you heard of this hero before? It's supposed to be the heat death of the universe. Mana cost for cold feet reduced. It no longer costs a third of your entire mana pool. It costs 15 less than a third of your entire mana pool. So people will be possibly stealing this ability.
We're so back, Big Crunch.
You used to pick your Chaos Knight plus Ancient Apparition just so you could land this ability. And now it's not even being picked. People would max the the freaking attack, the right click enhancement, the E as you would know it, and the W, and they would just place a bunch of little cold spots on the ground and then blast you. And then you're like, yeah, that's better than my Q.
Definitely real job offer in my email account. Thank you.
Ah, very cool.
Well, that's not suspicious. It's a PDF. Hell yeah.
Arc Warden. Right. I just played a game against this hero. He's terrible. He has great base stats. He has an insane power spike at level 6, and his wraiths will kill you to this day, chasing you to the ends of the earth. These nerfs, I find, are insubstantial. What is your analysis here? Have you ever seen an Arc Warden at your level of play other than... It's mostly Smurfs, right? So it's like completely over.
Yeah, I saw one that I'm convinced was a Smurf, and he, wait, he might have lost, actually, so maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was just only playing Arc Warden.
Maybe it wasn't forced 50% after all. Think about that.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the Arc Wardens of all time.
All right, so no meaningful change to him. Batrider, yeah! Flame Break has been nerfed, question mark. Yes, it has been. So it does...
Batrider was playable for one patch.
Yeah, it does less damage early on, and basically throughout most of the levels. The damage isn't what matters. What matters is that the duration is lower. Therefore... Wait, what? Hello? Gaben? It says that the burn duration decreased from 5 to 2 to 5, right? So 2, 3, 4, 5 as you level it up. But on the tooltip, it says burn duration is 2. So either this was nerfed even harder than it's even more over than we've ever thought before, or tooltips just simply don't get updated in this game. So it's one or the other. Where are you putting your money on? Do you think it was like they fucked up the code and it's actually a 2-second at all levels, or will it actually appropriately scale and the tooltip is simply useless?
Oh, I have no doubt that the tooltip is just fucked.
Okay, very cool, very good faith.
Burn duration 2.
Yeah, burn duration 2 on my ability. 2. Yeah, very cool.
I am testing that. If that's
the flaming lasso cooldown reduction.
I want to see like some Batrider just raging against the machine, the calmest Batrider.
Anyway,
blast my burn only for 2 seconds.
Overall, a pretty substantial nerf, especially to support Batrider. So you'll probably be seeing a whole lot less of that in the DPC. And in Herald, nothing will have changed because this is a not real hero. Beastmaster. All right, so I don't know if you've heard of this guy, but what he does is he makes more units, and those units and all of his friends, his fellow compatriots, his other heroes, as well as himself, Inner Beast attack speed, his passive, has been increased by 6 at the max level. As a result, the average game length has gone down by 100 seconds. Every single game will be shorter with a Beastmaster in it. He'll end the game faster, right? That 6 attack speed, that's going to make all the difference.
Dummy card.
Speaking of something that might actually make a difference, Bloodseeker, this hero that basically fell off a cliff after they nerfed his shard and a couple other things. His base agility was increased by 2, so he's straight up better. He just does more damage and, has a lot more fun in the laning stage as a result of that. But Thirst is now classified as a lifesteal, so it's actually amped by Sange and Yasha, everyone's favorite item. That now that Manta Salad keeps getting worse and worse, and they buffed Sange and Yasha to be cheaper and better, and this is one of the few heroes who would actually buy it, plus his Ags, and you would basically just get Gazuga healing. And he'd get that overcharge heal shield. right? It's basically a permanent shield rune on him.
Mm-hmm.
And now Sange Yasha actually amplifies this. So watch out for Bloodseeker, especially I think in your tier. I think it's gonna be like goated with the sauce.
Dude, I think the tooltip might be right on fucking Batrider.
Wait, does it last only 2 seconds
It
even
doesn't
when you
seem
level
like
it up?
it lasts for 5.
Oh my goodness. That's great.
Are you fucking kidding me, Gaben? Oh my god. Okay. 1, 2. Yeah, no, like
I'm putting
unless you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like
all right.
1, 2, 3. Like, yeah, no, that's 2 seconds.
You can just alt and left click the tooltip on the enemy, and it'll ping how long it'll last.
Oh, will it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I did not know you could do that. All right. Well, that helps substantially. Let's try that out.
Centaur, Hoof Stomp, nerfed by 20 damage at all levels. This is a somewhat meaningful nerf to Centaur because he's somewhat reliant on bursting people. This could make the difference sometimes. It's basically like giving everyone 1 strength against him. So I don't expect that will make a huge difference to the hero. The talent to nerf is health regen from 5 to 4. Honestly, you should be taking the movement speed talent anyway on this hero because movement speed is so important as a stat in Dota. It's always on you. This is a free win lace, and most of the time that's just so hard to work into yourself because you only have 6 item slots. Everyone wants a free win lace, and Centaur can get one at level 10 in exchange for a skill point. Chaos Knight, a hero that was finally good and then nuked into oblivion, and we've never seen him again. He's trying to rift back into reality with an extra 50 cast range and 10% more damage on his crit. 4 creeps. Now, originally, when the hero was like whatever, it was the creep damage multiplier going 2-2 that made him good. That double damage to creeps was like great.
He thinks he's good.
But then the lifesteal on it got Gaziga nerfed. He has like 6 less base damage or something than he used to. And Bloodthorn being good, even to this day, even after the nerfs, I say, people undervalue Bloodthorn, especially on Chaos Knight. It's a secret build that gives you 100 attack speed on you and all your illusions and bonus damage. It's actually great for Chaos Knight. Because you basically just burst people. And if someone would live because you don't do enough damage, because hypothetically speaking, your base damage has been reduced, this is a solution for that. And if you can, press your Q and suck your reality rift upon someone with Bloodthorn while your illusions are up, you'll instantly kill them, especially with this change here to let you farm a little bit faster with the Chaos Strike. Chen! A hero that we don't even see in professional play other than in the first round ban screen. And we don't see it anywhere else except for maybe Immortal. I don't know if have you seen any Chens in your games recently?
No.
Not a single one? I've seen literally
one,
but he did win because it's actually an OP hero. So yeah, Chen fucking gets nerfed, not by a whole lot. Especially at level 1. Now, Divine Favor, some people were basically just buying stats on Chen. They would get Divine Favor level 1 back when it costs 0 mana. It costs 75 now. And they would just sit there and man fight you with their plus fucking 24 armor. But now, it only gives you, 9 armor and it costs 75 mana. So I don't really think people are going to be skilling this on Chen anymore. We'll see. Like early on, just for the sake of clicking you. But Chen will still win his lane, and he'll still have this kind of neat ability. And he'll still try to end the game before 30 minutes. One of the very few heroes in Dota that can do it. And they won't even let him be played. So the games will still go on for about 1 hour each time. Clockwork. 50% of the mana burned is added to the damage. Now, what's weird is that it does do damage, and it does do mana burn. And they were independent of each other. Now it does damage and mana burn. And if it burns your mana, it does a little bit extra damage. So this is basically just a slight damage increase to Clockwork. Because you almost always had mana. It's not like this was getting rid of all your mana. Except for like the laning stage. Overall, a buff to a hero that's been basically forgotten. Like, have you seen Clockwork, despite how fun he is in your bracket? I'm one of the few Clockwork players in
You don't
NA,
see
and
Clockwork.
yeah, he's been pretty atrociously bad recently. Like,
Yeah,
you can
motherfuckers
still
don't
play
just
him.
be picking Clockwork.
Yeah, I don't. This won't bring him back, but it will be cool. Crystal Maiden, the Crystal Clone, no longer costs less mana than your actual Frostbite. So that's, you know, a big nerf to the hero. You would basically get this, and then you'd just farm, and you'd farm so fast with it. Not that I imagine people would even press this in your bracket. Do people buy Crystal Clone? Have you seen a lot of CMs with that?
No, it's really weird and hard to use, so
Gotcha.
people don't be buying it.
All right.
It's really goofy.
That's the perspective. All right. Yeah, so CM might not be first pick, first ban in High Immortals. We'll see about that. Dark Willow. So what it means by the roaming duration of Bedlam is how long the little damage thing that she shoots out at you, that's Bedlam. So the little damage guy that she would put around herself or someone else, it lasts for half a second longer. So it will do 140 more damage at level 1. So at level, when she hits 6, she gets an extra 140 damage. And this hero came back from the Shadow Realm when they gave Bedlam the ability to be put on like your offlaner. So you can like put it on your offlaner, and then he would go in and they would just kill somebody instantly.
Yeah, assassinate them.
It's literally does more damage than Skywrath Mage, and it's more consistent than Skywrath Mage, because you can put it on your guy and he can just chase them. So now this is even better because it's another 140 damage at level 6. So watch out for that. Dark Willow might be back because of that. Disruptor, straight buffs to Thunder Strike. It slows to 0.4 seconds at all levels, so you might actually see a little bit more disruptors from this, because the slow is to attack speed and movement speed, so this helps them trade. You might actually skill this ability consistently at level 1 instead of Glimpse, and just fight people in lane, like buy a bunch of branches and the Fairy Fire and just hit people as Disruptor. This could make him kind of come back, and with the games going so late, you'll very consistently get your Aghanim Scepter, and then you become a real hero because you mute items. Now that Doom doesn't do that, this is the only hero who can really mute items before the level 25.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane? the fucking way we've come. What about you? What's your analysis on Disruptor? You think people will ever pick this hero? Will you pick this hero?
No, Disruptor's lame. No fun allowed.
All right.
I don't like the way he feels when I play him.
Yeah.
He's not my
But what
guy.
about when the enemy plays him against you?
I don't rage against the machine when I see a Disruptor in my lobby.
Let's see. Not
On
even when he
either
glimpses
side.
you back after you die and TP in?
Oh yeah, that's pretty cringe.
Yeah.
Blue pilled. But yeah.
Okay.
Just don't let yourself get glimpsed. Simple as.
Yeah. Now here's the big
Or-
one. You wouldn't notice this for the most part, but Dragon Knight. Holy, his illusions no longer slow the ever living shit out of you.
Yeah, it was pretty weird that it did.
If they have reverted back to melee form. That's right. If they're still ranged, they still do the terrible thing that made this hero come back and is actually one of the best heroes in Dota. But if the illusions return to melee form, they will not apply the thing as if DK himself. But they're still just as cursed.
Damn, centrist fucking change.
And I guess
Like,
the DOT
so
from
pointless.
Corrosive Breath only lasts for 3 instead of 5 seconds, so he'll do slightly less damage to your buildings if he gets like one little hit on it. Overall, very slight nerf to DK. I think that he's still just about as good as he was before. He's gonna slightly change.
I'm gonna report back from the trenches what's happening. I'm in.
Oh,
We're in the thick of it. I'm in the thick of it.
okay.
I'm a hard support. Okay. Yeah,
Drow
that hates me.
Ranger.
Gotcha.
Drow Ranger
It didn't ban my puck. Are you actually
has been buffed.
serious?
Yeah, you picked 4 heroes, didn't you? That means only one of them gets banned.
Alright, I'm gonna pick AA so I can transition.
Okay, good luck for you. I will let
I'm
you.
transitioning.
Yeah, my man is going straight into ranked now. Good for him.
Yeah, it says I'm a Crusader 1, which is fake news. I'm a Crusader 3.
Oh yeah. Well, apparently I'm ranked
Wait.
3,000, so good for me.
Alright, get out of my lobby.
Drow
There's
is a good hero now? Question mark. If it wasn't for things like Dragonite and Centaur being meta, and Centaur just presses ult, and when he goes in on you, you gust him, and then he still gets on top of you and kills you. I played that matchup literally yesterday. So it's
speaking of
Drow is better,
Disruptor
but it's
in
hard
my
to
lobby.
play it. I'll say that much. It's hard to play Drow right now with the heroes that are in the pool. But if you can somehow, I don't know, get a position 5 that'll save your life consistently, and maybe your team is up for the task of defending you, the position 1, for the entire game, then Drow is a really strong hero. But outside of those conditions, it's a bit of a bitch to play her. But overall, buffs to the hero for multi-shot.
There's a sniper on the enemy team. You got to play the hero I wanted to play, but whatever.
Earth
He's
Spirit.
a Guardian 3. What? Guardian 4? I'm supporting a Guardian. Oh, this ain't fair.
All right, I think the rest of the patch notes are going to be just for Immortal at this rate. Because my guy is delving head first deep in the middle of the patch analysis. I can't believe this guy.
I don't need to know. I know what I need.
I know what I need. I read one patch note and I'm playing AA.
Read one. Dude, you think any Crusaders are reading shit? Hell no.
Yeah, well, Earth Spirit, double damage on Rolling Boulder, so have fun with that little factoid, but it's just the base damage. Ember Spirit, charge restore time decreased, a buff to Ember Spirit. That's kind of crazy. I guess after the nerf to the singular item that made him valid again, being the Mage Slayer, he's been struggling, so this might bring him back. We'll see. Mostly in high level Dota. Faceless Void. They nerfed time dilation. Neat, I guess. It's no longer a 1-point wonder. But the Q is still a Weaver's ult, but you get the pick where you show up on a 6-second cooldown. That didn't get nerfed, but time dilation still totally in the game, boys. You just have to put a couple of points into it these days. Hoodwink. Bushwhack cooldown reduction reduced. Okay. Now people might actually start picking up the plus 40% scurry evasion and getting actual immunity to right clicks. Look it up. You will be unfucking clickable at level 10 with Hoodwink if you get scurry active evasion. So, just watch out for that. Kunkka. Torrent damage and knock-up duration is reduced. This hero has been holding on. His last grasp to power is Bloodstone plus his Torrents. And they are slowly bringing him back down to nothingness. So rip Kunkka. He will eventually become useless. And with Lifestealer kind of being meta, slight nerfs to him, but nothing major it seems. I still think Kunkka is not that strong. He's still A choice, but he's definitely B tier or less.
One of the choices of all time, for
Leshrac, however, all they nerfed was level 20 damage on him for his Pulse Nova talent. Maybe people actually pick the extra damage reduction during Pulse Nova and just try to tank up. That was a viable build at one point. People might come back to that. I'm not sure, though. I think people will still probably go for the damage talent regardless. But, a basically meaningless nerf to Leshrac overall. Lich. Damage rescaled on Frost Shield, so it does more damage if you max it out. It's actually better at all levels except for 1. So, neat.
Nice. Very good.
Chain Frost can now be misclicked, and you can click it on your Ice Spire, the shard for Lich.
And you gotta take out that one guy in the trash.
So ain't that something? You can misclick your Chain Frost onto the Lich fucking Ice Spire. I can't believe that. Can't believe they've added that into Dota. I can't wait to see the Herald review where that happens.
Yeah, that will be
if
happening.
someone does that, link that in this video right now because I need that clip. Lifestealer. This is a hero that has become good out of nowhere. Once Skeeter showed everyone the way onto picking this hero and realizing it's not that bad. And then everyone started picking it and realized, oh, it's not that bad. And its win rate went up consequently. Very paradoxically, actually. As more people picked it, its win rate goes up. But it's just good against all the offlaners right now, except for Viper. But even then, you can just outplay Viper by just going on him at level 1.
Mm-hmm.
So get ready for a lot of Lifestealers in every level of play. Despite him being nerfed, he'll probably still be good enough to cut it, because these nerfs are relatively inconsequential. Mars. They've nerfed the cooldown on Arena of Blood by 10 seconds at level 1. And it scales back to 90 seconds like it used to be. And they nerfed the God's Rebuke cooldown reduction talent, so that's kind of tough for him. But these are slight nerfs to Mars. He's still fine for the most part. If you were good at Mars, you can still keep picking him. If you're a Mars, the effer, you can still keep effing. But everyone else, you probably won't even notice these nerfs except to Arena cooldown, because that's a pretty substantial increase. Medusa. Split shot damage penalty reduction decreased from 10 to 8%. So slight nerf to the level 15 Medusa. She was kind of back on the upswing for a bit there. This nerf will ensure that even though she is slightly back on the upswing, that she'll still be like not that good. You can still kill her, and she doesn't do that much damage for most of the game, so you can usually ignore her. So overall, a big fan of making sure that Medusa isn't a hero you see every single game like she used to be. Mirana. Movement speed reduced. It's actually hilarious that this cat riding lady is so much slower than the cat riding lady who can't jump 3 times and get speed boosts. But the one who can jump 3 times and get speed boosts is slower than that cat lady, Luna. Hilarious. I don't know what they're cooking in Valve Studios right now. This is one of the silliest changes to nerf this hero, because I don't think anyone was saying, man, this Mirana hero walks too fast.
Yeah, I know. First of all, no one was saying she needed a nerf, like, at all.
In the highest levels of play, you'd see it being picked, but it never really looked that impressive, even with the invis to your team and the Q being relatively strong as an ability. It's just the rest of the hero is just kind of sad. Naga Siren, a nerf to the hero because, Skeeter he played it 1 time and he made it look good, so they can't have that. So they gave a slight nerf to Riptide damage. I'd be interested into people actually picking up the Ensnare cooldown reduction, but it doesn't synchronize with the rest of your hero, so you never pick this Ensnare cooldown reduction. You just get the Tide damage and you just farm it up. Necro. Oh, this one you better pay attention to. This guy can make or break your pubs. The level 10 talent for Heartstopper or a stack duration has been buffed from 2 to 3 seconds, so it can get back to how good it used to be, which people will probably be picking, just because they'll be healed for so much. And the Scythe cast range, the level 10 talent for Scythe cast range has increased from plus 100 to plus 125. I will note that change has not been updated in the talent tree UI, so I don't know if it actually gives you the plus 25 attack or cast range like it says it will. But we confirmed that Batrider's Flame Break doesn't display the corrected nerfs, and because of that, I would say that they actually forgot to change it for Necrophos. So I'll say just pick the Heartstopper or a stack duration anyway, because it's better. You'll live longer. Level 15 Death Pulse heal, that's fine. I think you still want the Ghost Shroud movement slow, so you're at least doing something while you're doing Ghost Shroud other than healing yourself. But it's whatever. Holy moly, a Pangolier nerf. I've never seen this before. A Pangolier nerf. Will this be the one that takes him out from being a pretty decent to good hero at every single point in every single stage
the enemy
of Dota?
Slark just got a triple kill in 6 minutes. What just happened?
Well, spoiler alert, we're not looking at Slark yet. Pango. His swash count has been reduced from 4 to 3. He only hits 3
it's so
times.
Over. Pangolin bros, that's what you get for starting COVID and shit.
So it's a nerf to Diffusal Pango and the Basher Pango. However, I think that this is actually secretly still a buff to Pango because it will still do more damage when you get your Aghanim Scepter. When you get your Aghanim Scepter, you'll still do like the little double hit with Swashbuckle when you do your roll and you jump, right? Your W on Pangolier. And on top of that, if you do the thing, there's a technique with Pangolier where if you slide through somebody with Swashbuckle and vector target towards them, you hit them an additional time. So unless they got rid of that mechanic, which they definitely didn't, it will do more damage than it used to. So Pangoliers will be shocking people everywhere when they do more damage when they go into melee range with Swashbuckle. So, yeah, watch out. Everybody's playing against Pangolier. He's secretly buffed, but he will drain less of your mana. But he does more damage. It's incredible. I can't believe Valve has managed to find another way to nerf Pangolier while simultaneously buffing him. They just can't find a way to get rid of this hero or not buff him, like every single time. Primal Beast, a hero who's been pretty good overall. No, they'll never get rid of him. He's someone's boy. Primal Beast, his damage at level 1 for his Q has been reduced, so he does a little bit less damage with Onslaught. But overall, not that big of a change. Does physical damage anyway, so it was never particularly strong at level 1, other than doing 90 instead of 75 damage, but yeah, this is whatever. This makes it a little bit harder to get range creeps with it. It's basically just as good as your right click now, other than being faster to cast. Won't make a difference for most people for Primal Beast. And Uproar, the incredible ability from Aghanim's Labyrinth that has been turned into an Aghanim Scepter. It will no longer do 100 damage per line, but only 85. This is a bit of a nerf, but I still don't think this is like a huge change for Primal Beast, because the big thing about Primal Beast is you BKB, you ult somebody through their BKB, and you kill them, or you just go in and instantly kill someone with your charge and your trample. Oh my goodness! All right, we'll get there. Puck, Aghanim Shard no longer increases enemy search range by 200. Okay, so Puck cannot shoot you from 5 miles away while phase shifting, but Puck can still hit you by phase shifting with the shard. So this is a nerf, but it's not a real nerf to this hero. Let's see. Dream Coil. Aghanim Scepter attack speed reduced from 100% of Puck's attack speed to 90% of Puck's attack speed. You know what that means? Absolutely nothing. This is still one of the best ags in the game, and Puck is still one of the best scalers from the mid into the deep late game. As long as you don't have a terrible matchup in the early game and you can just play the hero normally, this hero is insane at every stage in the game. Sand King. Base damage increased by 6. So you might actually get some last hits on this hero. This is pretty big. For all those heralds who are crying in agony that they've buffed the strongest hero in your bracket, don't worry. He has 0.4 less strength gain, so he's a little bit less tanky. So those small stages where you can actually see him when he right-clicks you by accident during a sandstorm, unless you buy dust. Yeah, he might die to you guys, so watch out. Other than that, overall, I don't know if this is a buff or not to this hero. Maybe it's a slight buff to have that little bit extra damage. But overall, this hero kind of struggled with being squishy throughout the later stages of the game if you don't just go straight tank items. So, kind of hard. Shadow Fiend. They buffed his raises. All of his raises now only cost 75 mana instead of up to 90. This is a pretty big deal for Shadow Fiend. You'll actually get to spam a whole lot more raises because of this. I think you might actually see a resurgence of Shadow Fiend even in the carry position, or if you're Jenkins, the off lane position, because you'll have way more raises to throw out over the course of the lane. That's pretty big. That's a 20% increase to the amount of raises you can have. That's pretty good. Silencer. Glaives of Wisdom. Intelligence Steal from 1123 to 1234. They've learned how to count. This is incredible. There's progress. Ice Frog is so back, actually. Meaningfully, at level 2, if you're laying against a Silencer who just gets to click you, you'll just lose all your mana. So I don't think this is a really big difference for Silencer, but mid Silencer or something else, if they manage this skillless ability twice, it hurts. And you can trade with another intelligence support. It's kind of like the Undying if it's two intelligence supports fighting each other. So overall, slight increase to Silencer's win rate in the lower tiers, but overall a pretty meaningless difference for Lifestealer, unless he somehow manages to scale into a core.
Mm-hmm. So I've successfully made my Morphling 2-0. Unfortunately, I have a 1-4 Centaur, and a mid who has lost really hard, the Sniper.
Alright.
Rip.
Are you feeling the D changes in your Herald match yet?
I don't know. Slark seems to be goated, but I can't tell if that's just because this is like the shit.
Slark has been unchanged, so overall it's a Slark buff.
Slark team is beating up like, Slark is 7-3 at 12 minutes.
Unlucky.
Oh God, what has happened now?
Snapfire, the cookie speed. So its projectile speed has been increased by 100 from 1100 to 1200. So it'll actually land a little bit quicker. Incredible. Scatterblast. For Snapfire. The attack slow, movement slow, and slow duration is increased if you do it at point blank range. And for those not in the know, if you're at point blank range, so if you're right up next to somebody and you press the shotgun, the Q on Snapfire, it will do bonus damage. Now, it not only does bonus damage, but it does bonus slow. And that is pretty nice. That is pretty sweet. This might bring support Snapfire a little bit back. It actually can help her trade. It gives you basically another right click's worth of slow on an enemy. So watch out for support Snapfire. Sven, base armor decreased by 1. Not a meaningful difference on a hero who usually has like 1500 HP by 10 minutes or less. And a hero who has an ability called Warcry, which for those who don't know, gives him a lot of armor. So this will not change the hero at all. I don't even know why they've done it. At level 1 and 2, you can kill him a little bit easier, but that's about it. Sven is okay armor to start with anyway. He is wearing it, as you can see in his portrait. Techies! Sticky Bomb. Cooldown increased. Rip Techies players, but only at level 1 and 2, meaningfully. Ultimately, at level 2, so when Techies is level 3 overall, right? So you've got 2 points in this, plus your Suicide Bomb. You can spam these out a little bit less, but you're not usually using this ability off cooldown anyway until, like, level 5 or later. And at that point, it's basically the same. Not a real meaningful difference to Techies unless you're going for a level 1 rampage in the fucking river, right? Outside of that, you're not seeing a big change to Techies here. Templar Assassin. Bonus damage from Meld when she goes invis and then hits you with a big, scary red lightsaber has been increased. So she will be one-shotting you more often. Rip support players, because this hero will hit this stage in the game where she maxes out Meld pretty quickly, and she will be one-shotting more supports than she used to, so that's pretty unfortunate. Support Terrorblade is dead. They have killed him. Reflection damage has been reduced at level 1 and 2, and a little bit at 3. And the radius has been reduced, so you no longer cast this and it hits your entire team consistently. Now it hits them, only like 2 or 3 guys. Thank goodness. This ability, even on Carry Terrorblade, is absolutely bonkers. But on Carry Terrorblade, it hasn't really changed that much aside from the radius. But on Support Terrorblade, thank goodness these guys were griefing their teams. I've been pretty lucky, and all the Support Terrorblades have been on the enemy team, so I've been gaining MMR, thanks Terrorblade. But for all those poor suckers, Rip Bozo. I know Zeke Quixotics, among others, will be sad to see this change. A couple of people will still give it a shot to see how much was it the damage that was really meaningful about the ability, and how much is it the slow that's meaningful about the ability. I think the damage is pretty substantial, especially if you're playing against ranged heroes. So maybe this will become more of a matchup thing where Terrorblade likes to see ranged heroes a little bit more and he can harass them. We'll see. Timbersaw, a hero that is eternally good, he's always so back, is now nerfed. Reactive armor is worse early on when you would put like maybe 1 point into it or 2 points into it. It has less max stacks, so he'll heal and have less armor when you keep whacking at him in the lane. But here's the thing. Before this ability was almost good, people weren't even skilling it. You were just maxing your nukes, and you would just try to go in for the kill at level 3 or 5, and you would just buy a couple of bracers, and you just man up in the early stage anyway against like carries that aren't that good. That hasn't meaningfully changed. What has meaningfully changed is how dang much Timberchain's damage has been nerfed. It used to do like over 220 damage. Now it does 185 at max. So Timbers will probably not really be maxing this ability that much anymore. You'll probably be maxing your Q. You'd put a flavor point into Timberchain and reactive armor. You might even skip reactive armor. And the ult. You just play the old nuke style, the way Amar used to be playing it. Tinker. Tinker. His armor's been increased by 2. His defense matrix's cast range has been increased. Is Tinker a support now? Is he finally back as a support? He can trade better. He's got 2 more armor for a total of 6.8. That's a lot of armor. 7 armor on Tinker? If you just get stacks and click people and you just have your laser, could you actually play Tinker support? There's no way. Could you actually do it? That's forbidden. That's fucking forbidden. I can't believe it. It's almost good. They've increased the cast range of Defense Matrix, which indicates that you could play it as a support. There used to be a couple of Tinker supports that I've seen. You might actually see it. Of course, the real issue is that it just makes Tinker mid the internal cancer and scourge of Dota 2 at all levels of play when you get that one Tinker guy. And then the game goes to 70 minutes because he's just freaking nuking the creep wave and being 500 miles away. And Defense Matrix he can cast on his allies, so he might accidentally do that every now and then. 2 more armor, so like when you finally catch him, if you're trying to click him, and you like need 1 more click because he has 2 more armor, that's because of this. So watch out. Tinker is back, probably. That sucks. This could suck. We might see Tinker resurgence. Ugh. Especially when you're nerfing heroes like Mars and the kind of guys who'd catch this son of a bitch. That's a little concerning. We can only hope that Disruptor supports will be able to catch this hero, as his Q is slightly better. Therefore, he will be picked. Tiny, Tree Grab, bonus damage decrease. Not exactly why you're picking the hero, but the 6 damage at level 1 does hurt a lot for the support Tiny, and I guess the early laning stage of core Tinies. Troll Warlord, max stacks from his shard were decreased. You'll still probably get it, and it's not that bad for the most part. Slight damage nerf, very slight. And you wouldn't even often get to go to all 16 of your stacks anyway on this hero. If you got this, if bad. You click a hero 16 times, they're usually dead. That's a little fun fact for you, especially if you're a carry.
I can't imagine it.
Yeah, so all those poor Troll Warlords who hit someone more than 15 times will be crying tears of tragic agony as they knew what could have been an additional 30 attack speed and 4% hit chance for a secondary hit. Oh well. Interesting. Underlord, a hero who's been in the Shadow Realm ever since he's been introduced to Dota, has been changed. Pit of Malice. Aghanim Scepter no longer slows enemy movement by 40%. Wow. I actually got this because of that. I actually got Aghanim Scepter because of that. Aghanim Scepter now increases radius by 100. Interesting. And then they changed it so that... Sorry for the click there. they changed it so that his level 15 talent that gave the AoE now gives the slow. But it's on the same tier that reduces Firestorm cooldown, which Underlords would almost always pick. I think now you do get the Pit of Malice slow. The Pit of Malice slow is so valued because if you can actually trap somebody in there, plus you get a Shiva's Guard, it actually could matter because you could get another root off. And if you get a Bloodstone plus Pit of Malice, that's 175 extra radius. Dude, I don't know. Maybe Underlord is secretly back, especially since the real reason you picked this hero, Atrophy Aura, has been buffed, so you get more damage from creep kills. So you're more oppressive in the lane. You could see this guy play more Dota now. I think you can actually see more Underlord. I don't think it'll be a huge increase, but in the right games, you can see Underlord now. I'm actually going to try it. This is going to be in my try heroes pool for the first time literally in ever. Ursa! Overpower. Slow resistance. Rescaled. Most people don't even know that slow resistance was given to this fucking hero. During his 6 attacks, which usually are spent after you blink in on somebody and spend all 6 of them. So the slow resistance on this is hilarious that it exists on this ability at all instead of his ultimate or something that affects him after his Q. Regardless, it's a slight buff to the hero after the laning stage, but whatever. This is one of the most meaningless changes, to be entirely honest. You won't see a change to Ursa. Void Spirit, Dissimulate damage increased by 20. Quinn is rubbing his hands in anticipation to one day get to play a fun hero that is not Pango and start to win games that extra 20 damage on Dissimulate. It's a meaningful nuke at 360 damage now at max, and 120 at level 1, so it's a pretty good 1-point wonder, actually. The only issue is it sacrifices your DPS because you're obviously dissimulating instead of, right-clicking somebody, so just keep that in mind. But in the laning stage, when you have like more than 1 second between right clicks, you can use this in between them, and it's a pretty nice nuke. You might see people pick this up in some matchups at mid. Weaver, the last change of the patch. A hero that was pretty good coming off of the nerfs that were pretty harsh against him. They've buffed Germinate attack by 5 damage at all levels. Yeesh. You actually might see slightly more Weaver because of this. Alright, overall, they definitely didn't nerf most of the stuff that is strong enough. And they didn't really buff any heroes meaningfully except for maybe Bloodseeker. Maybe Dark Willow and Snapfire. Those were really the only ones I'd like to see. Other than that, yeah, this is not the crown fall we were looking for, buddies. But only time will tell. I'm most interested in the maybe Underlord. I hate to say it, but Underlord is one of my most interesting things that I've seen. Maybe I'll try Chaos Knight see if he's back or not. Dang, this is pretty sad. At least Phantom Assassin won't one-shot people anymore with the Revenant's Brooch, so we have something to look forward to. But yeah, that's about it. See ya.
Yeah.